Please, go ahead, ma'am.
Why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. Right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. We'll take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
Greenland have been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, fuck off.
U.S. President Donald Trump says his country will acquire the Danish territory of Greenland.
We need Greenland for national security and even international security.
Tensions between Denmark and the U.S. continue to deepen.
If you want to have your country to be defended, then you need to do something about it.
No approval, no waiting for commands, no time for diplomacy. The order is clear. Shoot first and ask questions later.
On April 4, 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty was signed. They are sworn to stand together against aggression. An attack against one would be an attack against all.
With those words, the United States signaled a massive strategic shift, and at the center of it all is Greenland. Why, out of every place on Earth, has this icy island suddenly become the hottest prize in global power politics? Let's decode the story. It began with a shockwave. A dramatic U.S. military operation in Venezuela ousted President Nicolas Maduro, sending a clear message worldwide. America is prepared to use force to shape foreign policy outcomes. Within days, Donald Trump escalated his long-running calls for the United States to acquire Greenland, a demand repeatedly rejected by both Greenlandic and Danish leaders. Experts now say Venezuela was not an isolated event. It was a signal. Trump's foreign doctrine was shifting from rhetoric to reality, putting aggressive power projection back at the center of U.S. strategy. And Greenland, of all places, became the next target. Trump framed the push as national security. He warned that if the U.S. does not act, Russia or China will. In public remarks, he even declared that America will pursue this objective, whether they like it or not, hinting that both diplomacy and harder options are on the table. So why Greenland? 3 drivers explain its sudden importance. First, strategic location. Greenland sits at the edge of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, guarding a corridor known as the JUK Gap, a choke point critical for monitoring naval and aerial movements between North America and Europe. The U.S. already operates a military base there under a 1951 treaty, but Trump argues presence is not enough. Full control, he claims, would give America unrivaled leverage over Arctic security. Second, great power competition. The Arctic is no longer a frozen backwater. Russia has expanded its military footprint, while China calls itself a near-Arctic state, eyeing new sea routes and resource access. Trump's advisors insist that controlling Greenland would block rivals from gaining a foothold, tying the island directly to America's national security. Third, resource wealth and climate change. Greenland is rich in strategic minerals, including rare earths essential for modern technology, electric vehicles, and defense systems. As Arctic ice melts, these reserves are becoming more accessible. Trump downplays the mineral motive, but analysts admit economics are a powerful driver behind U.S. interest. Together, location, competition, and resources explain why Greenland has rocketed from curiosity to geopolitical flashpoint. But Europe is not amused. Denmark and its allies have been unequivocal. Greenland is not for sale. Leaders from France, Germany, Britain, and Denmark issued a joint statement insisting Greenland's future is for Denmark and Greenland alone to decide. Any U.S. attempt to seize it, they warn, would fracture NATO and shake the post-World War II security order. For Greenlanders themselves, Trump's rhetoric is not abstract geopolitics. It is a direct challenge to their autonomy and national identity. Most oppose becoming part of the United States, viewing takeover talk as disrespectful to their sovereignty. So what do we see? This race was not triggered by a single event, but by a pattern. Aggressive U.S. foreign policy that began with decisive action in Venezuela and quickly expanded to arenas where strategic advantage, not alliances, is the prize. Greenland's moment has arrived because climate change, resource competition, and military strategy have collided. making the island unexpectedly central to 21 st century power projection. What happens next remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. Greenland is no longer just ice and rock. It is the front line of global power politics. Stay tuned, because the battle for Greenland has only just begun.